Student loan danger. Obvious solutions to maintain the pursuit of happiness and save for retirement. It's the American dream. Is the solution to the student loan program's infectious corruption that is lasting for decades obvious? Because student loans are the most dangerous financial product in America, this student loan danger video recommends abolition of the entire student loan program. Full restoration of bankruptcy protection for existing and future claims. Public colleges. Aid to public colleges that are struggling instead of borrowers who are struggling. And proper recordation of all student loan records, like the Patent Office's records, are kept and accessed online by the government and all the taxpayers. This way, missing parts can be easily and quickly flagged to prevent a false default rate report. The database would include a copy of the diploma and all assignments, lender registrations, insurance and reinsurance claims submitted for payment, transfer notices and other communications sent by the government and owners and servicers, forbearance grants, default declarations, merger notices, common forms, fees paid and to whom, a searchable database for lender identification numbers, subsidy payments and authorizations, proof of public accounts debited and credited, etc. Kept up to date 24/7, showing deadlines met. Private claims masquerading as federal claims could be caught easily because of the missing parts. FFELP, fraud, waste, and abuse, could be corrected and cured. Borrowers and servicers could add to the database instead of anonymous data provided by the lenders and servicers who self-police. Auditors could check all the loans, avoiding the Bernie Madoff debacle, with red flags easily detected by things out of place. Lenders who use trickery would not be paid when loans are forgiven. Hearing officials would not be able to report anonymously. Courts could easily access the records. This database will be needed for an accurate history during this computer age, even if the program is abolished. Abolition of the program will leave private lenders driving up the cost of tuition controlled by bankruptcy protections and thus subject to natural market corrections that prevent them from becoming or staying too big to fail. This we know how to do. Piecemeal efforts have not succeeded because of infectious corruption. We suffer from disinformation, like the Civil War disinformation. Since 1976, Congress and courts deliberately untied our full collection of consumer protections, such as constitutional bankruptcy protection, negotiations, a statute of limitations, a certified proof of claim before a hearing, regardless of when the borrower asks for the hearing, with the right to see the documents reviewed, a reliable student loan historical database, a wise and timely Congress, an abundance of student loan attorneys, judicial review before garnishment, and independent auditors of the full data and all documents. Some in Congress are infectiously corrupted. Can we trust them to act on this? Will they be timely, wise, and compassionate towards all? Will they add a poison pill? Will they make us proud? The moratorium on collection taught us that student loans are a dangerous piece of our economy. Income-based student loan repayment plans cap payments, so borrowers don't pay down the debt or get considered in default. So, their student loan debt isn't naturally counted against them when they buy homes because their credit scores artificially improve, though the student loan borrowers are not more creditworthy for a home. Their mortgages can be bigger too, despite being bankrupt. The student loan civil war is cyber. The government has been using computer overrides for disinformation about default rates. Disinformation keeps the loan owners in power. With AI, the cyber war may become even easier to win. AI can perform computer overrides even better, so that servicers and the Department of Education never need to be replaced. AI will be a strong argument against holding hearings for so many borrowers challenging claims. The Department of Education can hold hearings on its own financial product that has no competitors. If we institute and maintain piecemeal forgiveness solutions, then late payments and defaults will continue. College tuition and costs will continue to rise and outpace average incomes.
Fellow Americans, you know I'm a firm believer in education beyond high school, and that should be a ticket to the middle class, not a burden that weighs people down for decades to come trying to pay their debt.
The Biden administration's approach to student loan forgiveness is piecemeal. Abolition of student loans matters to everyone, just as abolition of slavery did before. Because when not everyone may participate in the economy, the whole economy suffers. Holding back abolition for the sake of those who paid in full has not stopped tuition from skyrocketing. Our founders already settled this part of the debate, plus the arguments about deadbeat borrowers when they created a clear bankruptcy right in the Constitution. Public policy requires a diverse range of people attend college in the United States. Defenders of slavery argued that the sudden end to the slave economy would have had a profound and killing economic impact in the South, where reliance on slave labor was the foundation of their economy. The cotton economy would collapse. The tobacco crop would dry in the fields. Rice would cease being profitable. Defenders of slavery argued that if all the slaves were freed, there would be widespread unemployment and chaos. This would lead to uprisings, bloodshed, and anarchy. Defenders of slavery turned to the courts, who followed the Dred Scott decision that no blacks had legal standing as persons because they were property, and the slaveholders had constitutional rights to their property. Today, some argue that profit matters more and abolition of the student loan program would be a giveaway. Some argue most of the benefits will end up accruing to upper income individuals, but loan servicers abuse that demographic too. Some people argue with statistics provided from unreliable databases. The Madoff story teaches us to look more closely. Some report that the difference in earnings for high school graduates versus college graduates is great enough to finish your education to compete for the American dream. The sustained COVID moratorium on collection proves the government knows otherwise. Some argue college costs will continue to rise even after abolition, but The student loan program is a failure, just as the tobacco crops used to support the argument to continue slavery kill people. The South believed abolishing slavery would be the end of the United States. Banks that made student loans received bailouts in 2008 under the Troubled Asset Relief Program, TARP. They received a fresh start. The fundamentals of the United States economy are not strong, where almost $2 trillion guessed tied up in a financial product have no bankruptcy protections that make essential risk-taking corrections. Student loans remain troubled assets. Some argue even modest student loan forgiveness proposals are staggeringly expensive. That seems to be a spin on the old argument against ending slavery. The student debt management plans force borrowers to stay broke, waiting for a lucky break, like an indentured servant. Arguments against abolition and restoring bankruptcy protection indicate the gradual erosion of the wisdom of the Constitution. The arguments against complete abolition of the student loan program is that it is too big to fail, like slavery. Americans deserve financial freedom, even if they finished their education.